Ghostbusters, and it's something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters, and it's something weird, and it don't look good. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters, I ain't afraid no ghosts. I ain't afraid no ghosts. No, I'm not gonna sing that entire theme song, as you already know the lyrics, you know how the song goes, you know how memorable and unforgettable and catchy it is, so, yeah. So anyway, hello everyone, this is Matthew once again, and today I'm about to do a review of the all-time classic, a movie that I grew up as a kid growing up, Ghostbusters. A movie that's directed by Ivan Reitman, who also produced the film, and stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, the late Harold Ramis, alongside Rick Moranis, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, William Atherton, film composer Elmer Bernstein. The song written and performed by Ray Parker Jr. and written by Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and once again is produced by Ivan Reitman, who gave you Meatballs, Stripe, this film, along with the sequel, Dave, Jr., Twins, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, and of course Draft Day. This is the most popular comedy movie of the 80s and gets talked about a lot. Ghostbusters was a cultural phenomenon as it spawned a sequel, a reboot, video games, t-shirts, posters, soundtracks, and many to count. Ghostbusters was such a big deal back then, and once again, it still gets talked about a lot. I really had a lot of fun with this movie. It's definitely like a childhood of mine as I grew up with this movie. As I remember, there was like a cartoon show called The Real Ghostbusters, where I remember seeing some episodes of it on television. And I do remember watching Extreme Ghostbusters. That was the show I grew up watching. I have never read any of the IDW comic books. I have not. And I do remember some of the toys that I used to have, like Egon Spangler, Eduardo, I believe, and as well as the Ectomobile. Oh, even I used to own the Proton Pack. But sadly, I don't have that anymore. But hey, when you're an adult, you don't get to be a kid anymore. But hey, even when you go to the movies, it makes you feel like you're a kid again. Especially like this film. And of course, I'm holding the Blu-ray here, which it came out back in 2009. This Blu-ray is about to be 10 years old, and the movie is about to be turning 35 next year, as well as the sequel, which will be turning 30. Man, 35 years, and still one of the greatest comedies of all time. So yeah, I have the Blu-ray right here, and of course, I do have this T-shirt that I'm wearing, which of course I got this at GameStop, which sadly we don't have it here anymore. It's a good looking shirt. It's about to be 10 next year. As well as I do have the video game, if y'all can see it. Oh, glare. Which I also got this at GameStop. I played a game. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to see these guys again. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, as well as Annie Potts and William Atherton returning as Walter Pegg, who hasn't been seen since the second Ghostbusters movie. And you have Brad Doyle Murray, which, oddly enough, in Ghostbusters 2, he was a doctor, but now here in the game, he gets to play the mayor. So instead of getting the actor from the first two Ghostbusters movies to reprise his role, instead they got Bill Murray's brother to play the mayor. And of course, Slimer's in it, and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's in it, and yeah. I played a game, it was a lot of fun, the graphics were good, the gameplay was good, I loved the presentation, and the story itself, and some of the humor, I believe. And yes, of course, this is definitely the real Ghostbusters 3, not the 2016 reboot, which I have heard about that movie, and I have seen the trailers, which I was not very impressed on, and I'm not sure if I want to review that movie. I know some people love the movie, and I know some people hate the movie, so I'm not sure if I want to review that movie, but I'll let you be the judge of that if you want me to review that movie. But for right now, I just want to focus on this movie. That's my main focus. And no, I will not be reviewing Ghostbusters 2 after this, because I want to do a re-review of this movie. I have reviewed this movie when it came out, but now this time I want to go into more detail with it because the new Jurassic World sequel is coming out on June 22nd, and I cannot wait for that. So, one day I'm going to re-review this movie in the month of June before I see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So, and just to go over, I have, of course, the Blu-ray. And of course I have, which of course this is my little brother's copy of the film on DVD, which it comes with the sequel. And it comes with a booklet. My little brother got this DVD probably around Christmas of 2007, so it must be 11 years old now. So, yeah. This DVD was back in 2004 when it made its debut, until Jonathan got this as a Christmas present along with the second one. And no, we do not own that original DVD from 1999. We don't own that. However, before I show you this, we actually did have a copy of Ghostbusters on VHS before, when it used to be recorded up on HBO, I believe. It was like a recordable tape that had like a V on it. I remember correctly. I remember a V on the tape brand. And of course, I do remember watching on tape as a kid. And I do remember, as a little boy, there was no Columbia logo on it, because instead it just starts off with the librarian R being chased by a ghost. And I do remember the end credits being cut off. So that's one of my vaguest memories I remember as a kid. But now we actually have the actual tape of the film that actually does have the Columbia logo, and we can watch the credits. So this is a very old tape. This tape was made back in 1996, and it is old and worn. And oh yeah, when I open this up, as I remember before, as stupid as I was back then when I was a kid, I actually did put a marker right here on this tape, if y'all can see. Maybe because I had to do the because of the Ghost logo, as it did in the opening. So there's that. And also, what's funny enough, that there's a little goof on the tape here. It says it right here that this movie is rated PG-13, which it's not. It's rated PG. So, whoops. You know, I would imagine it was a PG-13 film, but it's not. It's a PG movie because of that one scene, which I'm going to get to. So yeah, there's the tape. I know I haven't got to the movie yet, but I got something I do want to show you. Oh, yeah. I also got this for last year's Christmas, Ghostbusters: The Ultimate Visual History, where it goes very well in depth about the making of the first movie, as well as the second movie, as well as the cartoon shows, the video games, the toys. And does it ever mention the... I know it mentions the video game. Oh, yeah, it does. It does talk a little bit about the concept for Ghostbusters 3, I think, as well as the reboot. So this book must have came out when they were trying to promote the reboot, the Paul Feig one with Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. So I read the whole book for about one day and never got bored by it. This is a really good book. It's a very engaging to read. So yeah, really good book. Okay, then now I get to talk about the movie itself. And before I do that, I want to give the backstory. Before Bill Murray was cast as Dr. Peter Venkman, the role was originally written for John Belushi, but sadly, Belushi passed away on March 5th, 1982 due to being intoxicated by drugs when Aykroyd was writing a script. So instead, the role was given to Bill Murray while he was doing another film that came out in 1984 called The Razor's Edge. And also, the role of Winston was originally written for Eddie Murphy, and if he had accepted that role, his character would appear earlier in the film, but he dropped out to do Beverly Hills Cop, which came out the same year as Ghostbusters, another big hit film in 1984. So they moved the character Winston toward the second half of the film, and it was given to Ernie Hudson instead. If you think about it, this would have been a big year for Eddie Murphy. He would have owned that year. Ghostbusters and Beverly Hills Cop. Imagine that. Two successful comedy films in 1984, and it would have been the year for Eddie Murphy. Think about that. And also, while Belushi passed away, when filming was began, Dan Aykroyd nicknamed Slimer as the ghost of John Belushi because of Bluto from Animal House. And also, as it appeared on DVD and Blu-ray, which of course it does come with a commentary track, Ivor Reitman revealed himself that not only he did the voice of Slimer, but he was also the voice of Zool. So, when you watch the movie and listen to the commentary track, Ivor Reitman revealed that he was also the Slimer voice and the voice of Zool. And of course, Ghostbusters came out on June 8th, 1984, and it became a box office phenomenon, well received by critics and audience alike, and it grossed like $229.2 million, while it was reissued in 1985 and re-released by Fan Events for this decade in 2010 by making $242.2 million in dollars for domestic lottery gross against a $30 million budget. And, of course, the film has received 2 Oscar nominations for Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song, as well as the visual effects. But it lost to Stevie Wonder's song, I Just Called to Say I Love You, for The Women in Red. And, of course, the visual effects were given to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which, of course, like Ghostbusters, it was also a PG movie that had an edge to it. 1984 was definitely the year where it came to time that they had to create the PG-13 rating because of how violent Temple of Doom was. I know Gremlins had that as well when it was violent. And there were like Poltergeist and Raiders. You know, Poltergeist came out in 1982, and Raiders came out in 1981. And of course, we know that the PG-13 rating will also be Red Dawn to be the first one to receive that rating. But now the year is 2018, and to this day, it still is one of the greatest comedy movies of all time. I did watch this movie again last night, which, of course, I saw the remastered 4K version on Netflix. Well, the picture quality here on this Blu-ray I thought it looks really good, but the one I saw on Netflix, it looks pretty good. It's actually even better, more details, more colors coming to life, and there is a lot of grain on this one, which I will admit, it is pretty grainy, despite I like this picture quality on this one. But when you look at the one on Netflix or the new Blu-ray release, as well as the Ultra HD version, it looks less grainy. There's grain, but it's not really that grainy. So yeah, how was the movie? It really holds up really well. But I wouldn't say it's that perfect. And before you jump the gun here, I don't mean it's a bad film. Like I said, it holds up incredibly well. It's just that I do have some issues with the movie, which I'm about to talk about right now. So just bear with me right now. This is just me having an opinion, as well as being subjective. And I know many of you can say that Ghostbusters is a perfect comedy movie, which is cool and all, but to me, I don't think it's that perfect. It's not because of the jokes. I thought the jokes are really good, but it's just I had some issues with it, and I'm about to get to. So, yeah. What do I love about Ghostbusters, and what is it can I say that has not already been said? It's a classic movie. It's definitely a movie that you can watch over and over again and never get tired of it, which, of course, even watching it doesn't feel that boring at all. I thought all the actors, all the great, they really made the movie work. Bill Murray was definitely the top of his game. He really knows how to play this type of role. He really did become Dr. Peter Figman. He was definitely my favorite character in the movie. Especially as a kid watching this film, I've always liked to be the Bill Murray character because I thought he was really cool. Sure, yeah, he has the mouth, but he's also awesome. And of course, you do have Dan Aykroyd playing Ray Stantz, who is like the heart of the Ghostbusters and always getting excited. And you have the brain himself, Harold Ramis, may he rest in peace, who is like the Spock of the group, which of course, Harold Ramis himself did based on his performance, more like Spock from Star Trek. And you have Ernie Hudson, who's like the guy who lays back and cool, and he's pretty much like the audience. And you do have Rick Moranis, who's like the nerdy guy, Louis Telly. And you have Sigourney Weaver, who is really good as Dana Barrett and knows how to play the role really well. And just plays it very straight. Annie Potts was good, and so does William Atherton. And of course, this movie does have very good lines of dialogue here. Which, of course, I won't name all of them, but I'll just name some. What are you trying to prove here anyway? I'm studying the effect of needing a reinforcement on ESP ability. The effect? I'll tell you what the effect is. It's ticking me off. Well, then maybe my theory is correct. You keep the $5. I had it. I will, mister. Which, of course, I will be editing some bad words out, which I won't be saying them, so I'm going to keep things clean. Or should I say altering the words. Hey, does this poll still work? Wow, this place is great. Where can we move in? You're going to try this poll. I'm going to get my stuff. Hey, we should sleep here. Tonight. Sleep here. You know, try out. I think we'll take it. Good. Do you have any hobbies? I like to collect spores, molds, and fungus. Tell you what, I'll take Miss Barrett back to her apartment and check her out. I'll go check out Miss Barrett's apartment, okay? I really like that. At first, he said he was going to check her out, and then he just realized what he just said and just had to correct it by saying that he'll go check out her apartment. You know, you don't really act like a scientist. They're usually for stiffs. You're more like a game show host. I'm going to go for broke. I am madly in love with you. And since she's from your life, she's always a creep. She's always a geek. She's always her first. You are so odd. And of course, Bill Murray, which I like, is he says, I got it. And P-Fam is the guy who gets things done. I bet you're going to be thinking about it when I'm gone. I bet I am. No kiss. And of course, you do get, of course, their first Ghostbusting call, which they do. And of course, I like to add that when the movie came on television for a pan and scan format and full screen, especially right here on this VHS tape right here, as I remember, it was mostly the hotel manager, Fake Man, and Ray in it. But Egon is pretty much out of frame, which is why, of course, when you buy the DVD or Blu-ray of the movie, you watch it in its proper aspect ratio, the way it was intended to be filmed, so you can get the whole thing, the scope of the movie. Which, yeah, this is a good-looking movie. It's definitely, well, the movie itself, it is a comedy and it's funny, but it's also pretty scary, actually. So it has the right balance to be both funny and scary at the same time, all thanks to its director, Ivan Reitman, who really knows how to point the camera, who knows how to deal with comedy, and he knows what makes it scary. Especially, of course, the part where Dana gets dragged by one of the terror dogs, which will be Sewell. As I remember the comedy track, he actually did have seen Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters, or kind of due to the lies, and said we could do it a different way. So, yeah. Must have been a big fan of Spielberg's movie. And yes, Close Encounters are kind of a classic. One of my favorite Spielberg movies. And of course, I continue on with all my quotes here. So where are you supposed to be? Some kind of a cosmonaut? No, we're exterminators. Someone saw a cockroach I live on 12. There's gotta be some cockroach. Bite your head off. Going up? I'll take the next one. You know, just really occurs to me that we haven't really completed the test with this equipment. I blame myself. So do I. Well, there's no shit to worry about right now. Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back. Yeah, let's get ready. Switch me on. Even Egon, when he turns it on, he had to step back because he doesn't want the whole thing explode. Which, of course, you could be aware of that if you don't know what's going to happen. So, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, I really love the chemistry. These are definitely blue-collar type people. And they actually did feel like real people you can easily identify with. So, yeah, Bill Murray's character could be relatable. So can Ray and maybe Egon. So you can identify with these characters. These are likable characters. You really root for them. And at the beginning of the film, they started off for being nobody that they got kicked out of their universities. And of course, until when Ernie Hudder's character gets on board, as soon as they have to save the world turning on the movie, they become heroes. These are definitely well-known characters. I remember Bill Murray being the Mounds. I do remember Races being excited, as well as Ernie Hudson being the guy who likes to lay back and chill, as well as Egon being the brains. And of course, I'm still continuing with my quotes here. What the heck are you doing? Sorry. I'm sorry. We thought you were someone else. Successful test. Yeah, I guess so. I think we should split up. Yeah, good idea. We can do more damage that way. Come in, Ray. Fake Man, I saw it. It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me. He's an ugly little spud, isn't he? I think he can hear you, Ray. Don't move. It won't hurt you. Ah! Fake Man, are you okay? He's slimy. That's great. Actual physical contact. Can you move? I feel so funky. Alright. And of course, later on, they talk about crossing streams. And of course, they split up and they try to get Slimer. Ray, Egon, okay, whoa. Nice shooting, Tex. I mean, Ghostbusters has done a lot of memorable lines, and I remember saying lines from the movies like nice shooting, Tex, or, of course, we came, we saw, we kicked his butt. And yet, of course, you do have the Twinkie, which, of course, I got right here because I feel like bringing it on camera, so if I can look up on my phone to know the exact quote of it. And hopefully I'm not boring you by watching this video as I'm quoting lines from the movie. If I am, I apologize, but I just feel like saying some lines from the movie that y'all remember. Okay. Ghostbusters. Quotes. on a second. I didn't mean to keep this long. Transcript. Ah, here we go. Just taking this out from Spook Central, which is a fan site of Ghostbusters. I highly recommend that website. That's actually a very good website. And oh yeah, well, this Blu-ray here, of course, actually does have features, which I like to bring it up. There is a good amount of features, but however, there is a documentary called Clean Up the Town, Remembering Ghostbusters 1 and 2, which is already in the works right now, and I don't know how long they're going to get it done. And I do remember they are trying to get Bill Murray to be interviewed, but so far they haven't, but I hope they can, because Bill Murray has never been interviewed on this Blu-ray release, and I know he hardly does any interviews, especially he had an interview on the movie Stripes, which is another Bill Murray classic that I love. So, I hope they give Bill Murray being interviewed for Clean Up Town. I hope they do. So, I had to bring that up. So anyway, where is that Twinkie quote? Alright, here we go. And before that, here's this. When Walter Peck shows up. What is the magic word, Mr. Fakeman? Please. May I please see the storage facility? Why do you want to see it? Well, because I'm only curious. And this reason right here, as I'm quoting. I want to know more about what you do here. Frankly, there has been a lot of wild stories in the media, and we want to assess for any possible environmental impact from your operation. For instance, the presence of noxious, possibly hazardous waste chemicals in your basement. Now, you either show me what is down there, or I come back with a court order. You go get a court order, and I'll sue your butt for wrongful prosecutions. You can have in your raid, Mr. Fakeman. I'm worried where it's getting crowded in there, and all of my recent data points to something big on the horizon. What do you mean big? And here I go. I'm about to open this up. Just to get in the right mood. Alright, here we go. Okay, here I go. Well, let's say this Twinkie represents the normal amount of psychokinetic energy in the New York area. According to this more examples, it will be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600. That's a big Twinkie. Excuse me while I finish this up. My apologies. We just had a visit for the Environmental Protection Agency. How's the grid holding up? Not good. Tell them about the Twinkie. What about the Twinkie? And I do know in the movie later on that both Dana and Louis get possessed by Vince Clorso, the Keymaster, and Sewell, the Gatekeeper. Fakeman shows up and says to one of the police officers, "Hey, what happened?" "Someone brought a cougar went totally berserk." "Hi, I'm going to the embarrassed. Thank you." And of course, he looks around at the door has been damaged from Louis's room. And then, of course, Peter checks on Dana and says, "Hello?" That's a different look for you, isn't it? "Are you the Keymaster?" No, she doesn't do that. Not that I know of. Slams the door on him, and then, of course, Fakeman peeks through, knocks it again, and then, "Are you the Keymaster?" "Yes." "I'm affirmative. He told me to meet him here." "I didn't get your name." "I am Sewell. I am the Gatekeeper." "Oh. What are we doing today, Sewell?" "We must prepare for the coming of Gozer." "Gozer, huh?" "The Destructor." "Are we still going out?" "You know, you can clean up the place. You're expecting someone." "Do you want his body?" Is this a trick question? I guess the roses work. "Take me now, sub-creature." We never talked before. Whoa! I'm gonna make a roll. Never get involved with possessed people. Pardon me for doing that. I had to do that too. Actually, there's more of a guideline instead of a rule. Is it? "I want you inside me." Go ahead. No, I can't. Sounds like you got at least 2 people in there. And yes, you have this line. Dana is Peter. There is no Dana. There is only Sue. Oh, Sue, you're not. Please, I need to talk to Dana. Can I talk to Dana? There is no Dana. Only Sue. What a lovely singing voice you have there. And of course, he counts by performing if this is like The Exorcist or something. 1, 2, 2.5. And of course, she levitates above her bed and then turns to the bed. And Feynman tells her to please calm down. And then jump scares Feynman. And then, of course, we have Lewis, who's now being possessed, and asking the horse if the horse is a gatekeeper. And the guy who runs the horse says, hey, you want to ride? Eyes glowing red. The guy freezes and turns back to the horse. Wait for the sign, and our prisoners will be released. You will perish in flames! What an a-hole. And, of course, yeah, later on in the movie, we do have where Walter Peck comes into the Ghostbusters building, and of course they shut down the containment unit as all heck starts to break loose. And another thing that I like about this film is definitely the soundtrack. Is you do have the classic Ghostbusters theme song. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I wanna tell you a little story, a little town I know. Clean up the town. Oh yeah. By the Bus Boys. And Mick Smiley's I believe is magic. Magic. And Alyssa's saving the day, saving the day. Hello, New York. Dr. Ray says, will you please, the heart of the Ghostbusters. Gotta run, gotta date with a ghost. Okay, whatever happens, let's be professionals. And of course, you do have the moment where they talk about the end of the world as they're in jail, where Egon tells them that there's something terrible about to enter their world, about the doctor's name was Evil Shandor, as he found a thing called ghost worshippers. And of course, Feynman breaks into dancing by saying, something good! For goodness sake, whoa, somebody's coming! And Reggie Johnson makes a cameo in the movie, which of course, you got two actors who will go on to do the classic action film in the 80s, Die Hard, which, oh yeah, Die Hard had just turned 30 this year, so happy anniversary to Die Hard. Hopefully I'll review that movie one day, and hey, maybe I could review it around Christmas time, because Die Hard is also a Christmas movie. I've already reviewed the classic Christmas movie, Home Alone. Why not review a Christmas action classic, Die Hard, which I'll probably review that around Christmas. So yeah, Reginald Johnson was in Die Hard, playing Sergeant Alpow, and you have William Atherton playing Dick Storberg, who's also in Die Hard, the first one and the second one. Oh yeah, even Reginald Johnson was also in Die Hard 2 as well. And of course, they go see the mayor, and of course, you do have this well-known line in the movie. Your Honor, everything is fine until the power grid was shut off by, from the TV edit version, while I wick here. They caused an explosion. Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no beep. Well, that's what I heard. And of course, says, I gotta tell you, these things are real. Since I joined these men, I have seen stuff that'll turn your wide. Or do you believe Mr. Pecker? My name is Peck. Or you could just accept the fact that this city is hanging for a disaster of biblical proportions. What do you mean, biblical? What do you mean that's Old Testament, Mr. Mayor? Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire, brimstone coming down from the sky. River to seas boiling. 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point. What if you're wrong? If I'm wrong, nothing happens. We'll go to jail. Please be quiet. We'll enjoy it. But if I'm right, then we can't stop this thing. Lenny, you have saved the lives of millions of registered voters. I hope you're not seriously considering listening to these men. Get him out of here. Bye. I'll fix you, fake man. I'll fix you. You know, I'm gonna give him a nice fruit basket. I'm gonna miss him, and we got word to you. No waiting for me. And then you get the Saving the Day theme song, of course. Of course, I know I'm in nothing but coin lines in the movie, but hey, I know this movie by heart. I know Ghostbusters very well. I know the lines. I know the story. I know the characters, and I know the humor quite well. And of course, when they get on top of the building, okay, so she's a dog. They see Gozer for the first time, and then, of course, Gozer, which I remember correctly from the trivia, that originally it was going to be played by Pee Wee Herman himself, Paul Reubens, but that never happened. Then they tried Grace Jones, who was the bad Bond girl in A Feud to a Kill. So they went with Slavicia Jovan, who ended up becoming the role of Gozer, but her voice had replaced by Patty Edwards, the late Patty Edwards, because of how heavy her accent is. Which, of course, I think Bill Murray poked fun of that when she says the line, choose and perish. But, of course, on set, it sounded like to him that she said Jews and berries. Jews and berries. Are you God? No? Then die. Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes! Alright, this chick is toast! Got your stick? Holding. Heat him up. Smoking. Make him hard. Ready. Let's show this prehistoric beep how we do things downtown. Throw it! Aim for the flat top. Wasn't so hard. We neutralized it. A complete particle reversal. And we have the tools. We have the talent. It's Miller time. And of course, Gozer comes back and tells them that they need to choose the form of the destructor, as Figment tells them that we must not think of anything. We need empty hands. If we think of J. Edgar Hoover, he'll come destroy us. And of course, the choice has already been made, and then Figment goes, whoa, 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 nobody choose anything. Did you choose anything? No. Do you? Why is someone like, I didn't choose anything? And they turn around and they see Ray, who has not been saying the word. I couldn't help it. It just popped in there. What? What just popped in there? I tried to think. Look! No, it can't be. What is it? It can't be. What did you do, Ray? Oh. And also, another interesting trivia that those scenes in the background where the Stay Puft is going by, where we get our first introduction of him, those scenes in the background were just like recycled sets from the classic Ridley Scott movie Blade Runner, which I did not totally know that. I didn't thought that Ivan Reitman and the rest of the special effects crew members were able to recycle some of the sets that were used in Blade Runner when the Stay Puft made his first appearance, so totally did not see that coming. And of course we get Fake Man turning the ray when he says, it's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Which, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is definitely, of course it is funny. When I look at the Stay Puft, he actually looks like Casper, except that Casper went to the dark side, who's not really a friendly ghost. Even the Ghost logo itself right here, they try not to make it look like Casper. And of course I knew the Casper cartridges were around for the time, which I believe in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm not sure. But I know that Dan Aykroyd made a cameo in the Casper movie where he goes, who are you going to call? Someone else. And yes, I remember Casper. That's also another childhood of mine. Well, there's something you don't see every day. And Ray explains about he tries to get the most harmless things he loved from his childhood. Ray has gone totally by, but what you got left? Sorry, Fairman. I'm beyond by the capacity of rational thoughts. Oh, no. And yes, we come to probably one of the greatest lines from Figment when he says this. Excuse me. He says, nobody serves on a church in my town. 1, 2, 3, roast it. And of course, you do have Figment saying, we know Stay Puft the Sailor. He's okay. He's from New York. We get this guy. We won't have any trouble. Can't say that line. And of course, Egon's character has an idea that they can refer to the gay. By how? Well, cross the streams. Excuse me, Egon. You said cross the stream was bad. Crossing the streams. You're going to endanger us. You're going to endanger our client. The nice lady who paid in advance before she became a dog. Not necessarily. There is definitely a very slim chance we'll survive. And of course, Bill Murray making a sarcastic remark. He says, I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it. And Winston said, this job is definitely not worth another $5 a year. Essentially, Core is definitely, which I thought, well, Ghostbusters is definitely a line in the bottle where it had a very creative idea that's very well imaginative. When you have how you got these guys, you got kids out of university, they make their own business, and of course, they start catching ghosts and all. But the movie itself, it really does have a heart to it. And you really like these characters. You go what they're going through as you go along with the premise of the story, as well as the imagination. And of course, you do have Figment turning to Ray, which I thought was a really good moment. See you on the other side, Ray. Nice working with you, Dr. Figment. At that moment right there, they had to say that because they don't know if they're ever going to make it. As what Egon says, there's definitely a very slim chance we'll survive. As that this is going to be the last time they were going to see each other. So they cross the streams, Stay Puft gets destroyed, Dana and Louis are back to normal, and the Ghostbusters survived. Well, the superintendent's gonna be ticked. Who are you guys? We're the Ghostbusters. Who does your tax? And of course, they go on, and of course, Egon says, we want to get some of your brain tissue. Okay. And yes, Wilson doing this. I love this town! Ghostbusters theme song kicks in, and of course, they cheer for them that they're now the heroes of New York City, and then of course, Slimer comes in the camera, and then the credits roll. So yeah, so that's pretty much like the whole movie, so... And forgive me if I actually did spoil anything if you have not seen Ghostbusters, but I had to say it right away because, well... If you didn't want to be spoiled about this video, since I'm already 35 minutes in, then go see it. Ghostbusters is definitely a classic movie. It has great lines of dialogue, likable characters, a good story, a creative idea, great special effects, for the most part, which I'm going to talk about that. And it has a heart to it. And well directed by Ivan Reitman, and a good theme song, and a good music by Elmer Bernstein. Yeah, even the music is memorable by Elmer Bernstein. The do 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 do, as well as the Dana Barrett theme, if I get this right. If I got that theme right. And you got some good songs from the soundtrack, like the Ghostbusters theme song, Saving a Day, Clean Up the Town, and Magic. So you do got some good theme songs. And the movie itself is really funny, and definitely a very funny movie to watch, and definitely an all-time Bill Murray classic. And I really don't know what is my favorite at all. It could be Strides, maybe it's this movie, I don't know, but either way, I love Ghostbusters. Now, before I wrap this up here, I know I've been rambling on pretty long for like 37 minutes. There are some issues I do have with the movie. I have to put the wrapper down. I'll start off here just bear with me, the special effects. Which, don't get me wrong, the special effects are really good. They're well done, they are believable, you do believe they're ghosts there, they're all done physically without using any CGI at all, unlike the 2016 reboot, and no, I'm not a hater of CGI. They are very well done, and they actually do look very menacing. And of course, when you watch the movie, you know there's like a mystery behind to it. Especially like you see how the opening in the movie where it plays that eerie music by Elmer Bernstein with the librarian that's just putting all the books away. You see something totally unexpected. You don't know what's out there or what's happening. And of course, when the library turns around, something is definitely happening, which is a good opening, especially you get the opening theme song. And then of course, later on, there are some effects I did say they're not holding really well. Like, for example, the stop-motion dog. For example, one of the Terror Dogs, which is all done by stop-motion animation. Which, of course, I'm not a hater of stop-motion animation. But the way how it's done, when Louis says, okay, who brought the dog? The door breaks as the Terror Dog comes through and destroys the table. That, to me, I thought was pretty cheesy and corny and doesn't seem to hold up really well. Especially when it breaks a door. Especially, of course, on this Blu-ray edition right here. When you watch the movie, you can kind of see the box around that is obviously a stop-motion effect. But of course, when I saw it on Netflix, I don't see it, which is better. However, it still obviously is definitely a stop-motion effect. But you could make the argument about it that it really is supposed to be like that because it adds to the film's charm and all that. But hey, it's for you to decide whether you're okay with it or not. And another thing I do have issues with the effects is, like, you get the establishing shot of the building where Dana Barrett's at. On the other side of the screen right there, of where the buildings are, you can kind of see the outline right there, some of the white outline, if you can look at it closely. Just pause the movie and you'll see what I mean. You can notice some of the outline. There are some obvious matte paint effects. I mean, most of the matte paints are good, but there are some a bit off. And even back to the Terror Dogs, the only thing that is really good for the stop motion is where they're not moving. But when they do move, it actually comes out pretty bad, which is you see some of the blur effect there. But when they do transform into Zool, the Terror Dog, and Vince Clorso, the Terror Dog, Keymaster, and Gatekeeper, when they're not moving, that to me is the only thing that's good stop motion. But when they're moving around and all that, it just looks pretty bad, in my opinion. It's just me being subjective. I'm not being too hard on the special effects, but I'm just making a point of my own. An opinion of my own is what I mean. But it's not really a big nitpick at all. It's a minor nitpick, but nevertheless, for the most part, it's really, really good. And the ghosts itself, they are very memorable. As I remember them quite well. I know Slimer, I know Ghost, or the Terror Dogs. Especially that one Ghost I remember in the movie. And this is another criticism I have of the film. And I can't believe I'm about to share this with you on camera, but this has been haunting me most of my life. Even back then, when I said I do like this movie, when I was growing up, I never cared about this movie at all. I really don't. I didn't care how creative it was. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was genius, or don't care about anything at all. And never watched this movie again. But of course, later on in my middle school years, I forgot how great the movie was, and it still is. Because before my middle school years, I was just being picky on the movie. I was just like, I don't care. It's all just kid stuff and this and that, but blah, blah, blah. But of course, yeah, this movie isn't really a kid's movie at all. Because this movie itself is rated PG, but it should have been a PG-13 or an R because of that one scene, which I'm about to get to. Starting right now. But of course, and as I remember before, when I saw that moment I'm not a fan of. Just because you're not a fan of that one scene doesn't all make you hate the movie, as I come to realize that. If you don't like the scene, that doesn't mean you automatically hate the movie. At least when you say make good things about the film, they outweigh the bad. And it does. The good parts outweigh the bad ones. So, the minor issue I had are the effects, which I know some effects are pretty obvious, while the rest is really good. Now we come to the story I do want to share. Do you remember the famous Ghostbusters montage scene? Well, here's how it goes. After they catch Slimer, we get that famous montage where you have the Ghostbusters theme song where they're rising to success, where it says Ghostbusters on super diet, they spook Chinatown, Princess Di expecting again, and of course you do have Casey Kasem and Larry Key in it, and of course 24 hours, 7 days in a week, no job is too big, no fee is too big. Is it just a matter of having arms or legs, as it say on as it say on TV? There is one big question on everyone's mind. I imagine you're the man for that. How is Elvis? Have you seen him lately? And of course, we get the Ghostbusters come out of the car asking for autographs by someone, which Fake signs one of them autographs, and of course they go to bed, they get exhausted. And then we get, as I'm about to show you the picture of this scene, this. What the heck is up with that? What is up with that dream scene? Why does it have to be in the movie? Why do I need to see that? Why do I need to see the female ghost taking off Dan Aykroyd's pants by showing off his underwear, his tighty whities? Why? Why? Oh. It just comes completely out of nowhere. Even when I saw it as a kid, I have no idea what was going on. And that's definitely one of the biggest issues I have with that movie. It's that one scene. It just takes you right out of the movie. It just comes that way out of context in the movie. It just seems a bit too far-fetched, too raunchy, and too risque, or too edgy, or however you want to put it. I wish that was not in the movie, and I did not need to see that. I mean, who wants to see that? Nobody wants to see that. Oh, and forgive me if I'm about to get all animated here, but I just had to express myself how much I'm not really a fan of that scene. You have Ray in the bed, wearing this strange-looking outfit. He sees a ghost above, which is a beautiful ghost. She doesn't talk. She slips back toward his crotch. She disappears and starts taking off his pants, and Dan Aykroyd just embraces it. He enjoys it. He was having the best time of his life, and just of course it cuts back to the Ghostbusters waking up, and then Ray falls off of bed. I mean, are you saying that doing a sex scene in a PG movie is wrong, but him getting a BJ is going to cause any psychological damage? Yeah, that scene should have been PG-13, or hey, it should have been an R, or hey, even better, why don't you just cut that out? I did see the TV edit version on Spook Central, and they actually cut that out when it first appeared on ABC, and I should have grew up with that version. I mean, you can keep your cuss words and all your sexual words or whatever, however you want to put it, but that dream scene needed to go. I did not need to see that. Nobody wanted to see that. And I don't think it's that funny either. Oh my goodness, that dream scene. Whenever it comes to this movie, I'm automatically going to think of that dream scene. I repeat, when it comes to Ghostbusters, the dream scene comes to mind. And another thing like that is, I do remember when I saw a spook trailer of Ghostbusters called Honest Trailers, which of course I'm not really an honest trailer kind of guy. I do remember they actually did touch upon this, and I do remember John Bailey, the narrator of this trailer, when he goes, and ghost sex? Whoa, I thought kids movies were way better back then. Yeah. It just seems to be far-fetched to be a kids movie, and honestly, I don't think Ghostbusters is definitely a kids movie. Even Indiana Jones films were not kids movies either. For Star Wars, yes, but for Indiana Jones and Ghostbusters, not really. Which, I don't know why they would think of Ghostbusters as a kids movie. Maybe it's because of the cartoon show they grew up with, because of the toys and the comics. I really don't know. But, I know if you were my age and all that, you would probably be wondering what the heck did you just witness. Or maybe you just don't care at all and saying, it's a dream scene, who cares? So. But, however, to give you another industry trivia, this was never intended to be a dream scene. And how can I be so sure? Well, let's take a look in this book. If I can find it. Slimer. Ah, here we go. And here's the picture right here from this book. And sorry, it's darn glare here. And of course, this is the actress who played the female ghost. She is played by a Playboy model here named Kim Herron, if I got her name correctly. Or Kimberly Herron, so. Who is well known for doing Playboy stuff, which of course I never look up Playboy. That's never my thing. Had to get that there. She's well known for doing the music video called Legs by ZZ Top. She did Romancing the Stone for playing the girl named Angelia, which is part of Kathy Turner's story in that Bob Zemeckis film, Romancing the Stone, as I said before. And she did movie Violation. She plays one of the Playmates in Beverly Hills Cop 2 as an extra. And many of the count. So, here's the history about this scene that was not intended to be a dream scene. Here it goes. That moment is all that remains of what was to become the Fort DeMary sequence. As scripted, Winston and Ray arrive at the Fort DeMary guardhouse in the automobile, split up to investigate the historical site. Ray, after donning a vintage military uniforms, falls asleep in the officer's barracks and awakens to a surprisingly pleasant ghost encounter. The live-action Fort DeMary footage was in the can, with Dan Aykroyd and Hudson having put in their performances on the Columbia Ranch backlot and Stage 12 at the Burbank Studios. And this is where it gets really interesting. Here it goes. If you think Bill Murray is the only Ghostbuster that gets a love interest, Dan Aykroyd's character was supposed to have a love interest. And it's this ghost. This was going to be Dan Aykroyd's love interest. Ray Stan's love interest. The idea behind the scene was to give Dan a love interest, a woman who's been dead for 100 years, said Ramis. But the scene was too long and it was in the wrong place in the film. And of course, later on, they talk about how they put the costume on her, and as well as how they were able to take Dan Aykroyd's character's pants off, which of course it was nothing but a puppet that you saw. It was all done in one take. And of course, later on it says, Ryman felt that the Fort DeMary scene didn't have a place in the final edit, but he salvaged the completed ghost effects for the montage. Dan Aykroyd, so enthusiastic about the scene's genesis, didn't object to its omission. I don't miss anything that we didn't use, he says. The ghost in the fort, the seduction ghost, and paranormal research, that's a common scene. Ghosts doing sexual things to people. I have a friend who had 3 women visit him in the haunted house in Louisiana. It was one of the greatest nights of his life, but in under 2 hours, you obviously can't have everything. That's Dan Aykroyd's little story here. So, and no, I don't believe in ghosts either. Especially, I know it's just a movie. But I do believe in demons in the Bible, of course. Which that's another saying. That scene of the fort in Mary was supposed to take place between where Walter Pegg shuts down the Ghostbusters containment unit, and then of course where Lewis and Dana get possessed. And in between those scenes, we had the scene in the movie where Ray and Winston talk about the end of the world here. Hey Ray, do you believe in God? Never met him. Yeah, well I do, and I love Jesus style. Hey Ray, do you remember something in the Bible where the last days have been rising from the grave? And of course he just quotes from the Bible saying, I remember Revelation 7:12, which that's also like a goof right there, folks. The line he just quoted is not from Revelation 7:12. It's from Revelation 6:12, which is why I brought my Bible along, and I don't mean to shove this in anyone's face. So here is the quote from Revelation 6:12, and that is the quote that you heard in the movie, not Revelation 7:12, which I'm about to get to. If I can get to it. Alright, here we go. Here's a quote from Revelation 6:12, not 7:12. 6:12 reads, or should I say as quoted, I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth, made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red. But of course, it's written differently. But in the movie he says, and I looked as he opened the sixth seal. Before there was a great earthquake. The sun became as black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood. And the seas boiled, and the skies fell. Judgment Day, Judgment Day. Every ancient religion has all myths about the end of the world. Myths? Ray, has it ever occurred to you that we've been so busy because the dead have been rising from the grave? How about a little music? Yeah. And then, of course, we get to the Fort Mary scene. They talk to one of the park ranger officers, which supposedly is probably one of the actors from Stripes, I believe, as I just found that out, which I forgot who the actor's name is. Both Ray and Winston split up, and then, of course, we come back to Egon examining the Keymaster, and then Feynman calling Egon that he's with the gatekeeper and saying that they had to get these two together, but Egon thinks, I expect that'll be extraordinarily dangerous. Then, of course, Feynman says he'll be there, and then Egon says, we have to find Randy here immediately. Then, of course, we cut back to Ray investigating the officer's quarters, and then, of course, he takes off his proton pack and jumpsuit, and then tries on this weird-looking hat and a jacket and a sword as if he were a general. He gets exhausted and then gets on the bed, goes to sleep. And then, as I remember in the script, the doors open, I believe, as you have a slither mist that comes out like a snake. And, of course, it hovers above Ray. And then, of course, it takes the form of a human shape. Then, of course, like in the movie, Ray wakes up, sees a beautiful ghost. She disappears, takes off his pants, and, of course, enjoys it. And then Winston checks out. Here's a noise going on there. Stance? Yoo-hoo. You in there? Not now. Later, man. And, of course, later on, after they're investigating, Ray has to make a confession that he said that he's in love with a ghost who's been dead for like 150 years. So there's that scene. But now about the real quote for Revelation 7:12. Here's this. The real quote for Revelation 7:12 is, saying, Amen, praise and glory, and wisdom and thanks and honor, and power and strength be to our God forever and ever. Amen. That's the quote for Revelation 7:12. The one in the movie is Revelation 6:12, which I saw that's definitely a goof in the movie, which I don't know, maybe he forgot what the quote was, or you could make the argument because he's an agnostic in the film, or an atheist. Either way, but that's a goof. I just like to point that out. So, and also another thing, what really bothers me when I'm watching that dream scene, we get Winston making his first interest by saying, "Interest state paycheck, and I'll believe anything you say," and it gets higher. We're also following from that dream scene, which it kind of makes things out of context because of the tone it shifts. That we go from what we just described earlier in the movie, the way how it plays out, then we get this scene that's too raunchy, and then we're back to the way it was in the movie. So yeah, the tone doesn't seem to match with it when you put that one scene in film. So I think it should have been cut out. And hey, even I've been doing research as well, I have always wondered if that Fort Demery scene has ever been surfaced on the internet, but it hasn't. And I just gave up on it, thinking it's never going to happen. But until 2017, this happens. It has finally been found. Next to that honeymoon footage, which we have on the DVD and Blu-ray release. Then you have the one that says Bill Murray on it, which I assume they're probably outtakes that were not used in the movie, like the one in the teaser trailer where he acts like he's a bird. Which, of course, in the teaser trailer, it has that original Ghostbusters theme song called, well, Ghostbusters, sung by Pat Straw and Glenn Hughes, which you heard that in the teaser, but it's not in the movie. And hopefully one day, I hope that song will come through, because I would like to hear the original theme song in its proper glory. But of course, the closest we're going to get is some fan on YouTube, which I'll put the link down below if you want to hear the original theme song, which that's probably the closest thing we're ever going to hear what could have been. But hopefully the real one will surface, hopefully. And hopefully, if they ever going to reissue this film again on Blu-ray, hopefully that long-lost deleted scene makes an appearance so we can see the Fort Demery footage and see how well the footage is, either how good or bad it is, and maybe a possible remaster for a better picture and sound and have some effects being completed. So yeah, those are my only nitpicks with the film, and I apologize for the video being that long, as I had to go as much in depth with the film as I can, as well as quoting lines in the movie, especially that one scene I'm not a fan of. So, I'm not a fan of the dream scene, and some of the effects I saw they're pretty dated, but for the most part they're really good. And still, it is a darn good movie. I may have some issues with it, but it still is a classic film. It had a really good story, great characters, likable characters, from Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. As well, you have Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, and Annie Potts, and the guy you love to hate, Walter Peck, played by William Masterton. A great score by Elmer Bernstein, a great theme song with some good songs from the soundtrack, fantastically shot by Laszlo Kovac, well directed by Ivor Reitman. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's exciting, it's scary. The climax, which is awesome, I love it. And I love some of the gadgets in the film. You have the Ectomobile, you have the proton packs, the PKE meter, and the Ecto Goggles, and the Ghost. And it definitely adds a nice heart to it. Ghostbusters is definitely a classic movie. I love it. If you've not seen it, please feel free to check it out. This movie really earns an A-. So once again, I am sorry for this video being long, but hey, I just had to quote lines from the movie, especially those you remember, as well as giving you the backstory of the movie. So anyway, that's my review of Ghostbusters, and let me know what you think of this video. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. Feel free to put your comments down below, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So thank you for watching, take care, and stay tuned for my review of Jurassic World. So, yeah. By the way, thank you for watching, take care, and, so be good! For goodness sake, whoa, somebody's coming! Got a date with the ghost. And see you on the other side.